A sequence either converges or diverges. We know it converges if the limit of the sequence is a finite number. It diverges if the limit is infinite or non-existent. So we're going to determine whether each of these sequences converges or diverges. And if it does converge, we're going to give the limit. So first thing we need to do is we need to find the limit as n approaches infinity of our sequence. And our sequence equation, explicit equation, is already given to us. It's 1 over n, right here. And we need to find that limit. So we need to think about the values of n getting bigger and bigger and bigger, going towards infinity. So you can either think about the values of n getting larger, 1 over 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 over 4, like it shows, 1 over 10, 1 over 100, 1 over 1,000, 1 over 1,000,000. And what is that fraction getting closer and closer to, or approaching? Or we can look at the graph. So I'm going to put in 1 over x, and we can graph it. And as x is approaching infinity, so as we're going right forever and ever and ever, our y values are getting closer and closer to our asymptote at 0. So the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 over n is 0. So since our sequence has a limit that is a finite number at 0, that means this converges. And if it converges, give the limit. Well, it was 0. In part B, in the sequence in part B, we are not given the equation, but we still need to find the limit as n approaches infinity, because if it's a finite number, it converges. If it's infinite or non-existent, it diverges. So we need our equation. So if you look at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you may know that we can just write 2n, right? Because 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8, and so on. Or you can say we start at 2 and we add 2 n minus 1 time. And if we were to simplify this, it still gives you 2n. So as the n is approaching infinity, so as we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, 2 times 10, 2 times 100, 2 times 1,000, 2 times 1,000,000, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger towards infinity. We can also graph it, and we know 2n would be a line that increases. So as our x's are getting closer and closer to infinity, as we're going right forever, our y values are going up forever as well. So that means this sequence diverges.